November 18, 1978, is marked as one of the darkest days in history. The Jonestown Massacre, which led to the murder of over 900 civilians, took place on that day in an isolated settlement in Guyana. This incident was considered the largest single incident of intentional civilian death in the history of America, before the 9/11 attack in 2001. What led to this horrific incident on that fateful day? And what caused such a tragedy? Join us as we uncover the darkest secrets behind the Jonestown Massacre in this video. Let's reveal the truth of this unimaginable crime caused by the manipulation of people with power as well as unrestrained fanatism. To understand the cause of the catastrophic end of Jonestown, the first place to begin the search is the People's Temple and its founder. Jim Jones founded the People's Temple in 1955 in Indianapolis, Indiana. They claimed to practice apostolic socialism in their attempt to build a racially integrated and socially liberal community. It was mentioned that Jim Jones had a fascination with politically important figures all over the world like Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong. Jones faced significant criticism for his beliefs in racial integration while the temple was operating in Indiana. By the early 1970s, the temple was spreading with two branches opened in Los Angeles and San Francisco. After some time, the temple was headquartered in San Francisco. Jim Jones was said to be a charismatic and benevolent leader who advocated a message of love, equality, and social justice. Through his leadership, the People's Temple gathered several followers who belonged to diverse social groups including African Americans, white liberals, and individuals who worked separately from the mainstream society. In San Francisco, the temple's involvement with politics increased remarkably. With that grew the public support. There, Jones was able to work with several influential political persons such as Walter Mondale, the vice presidential candidate at the time, First Lady Rosalind Carter, and California Assemblyman Willie Brown. Despite the facade, both Jim Jones and his People's Temple tried to maintain. With the years passing, his control over his followers started to grow more absolute. He manipulated their trust and used their loyalty to strengthen his power over them, gradually leading them to be controlled both psychologically and physically. By the fall of 1973, though, critical newspaper articles were getting written about Jim Jones and some other temple members. With the increasing number of articles, they prepared several plans to face a media crackdown or an investigation by the police. Those included fleeing to Canada or a possible Caribbean missionary post. This latter option led them to choose Guyana and establish an agricultural mission there. It was selected for its economy and political situation with the USA. Thus, they leased an isolated piece of land from the Guyanese capital of Georgetown in 1974 for the People's Temple Agricultural Project, commonly known as Jonestown. The land was about 3,800 acres in area and had soil of low fertility. To find a body of water, one had to walk around 11 kilometers on muddy roads. Like that, the construction of Jonestown started. The temple members began a mass migration to the land. Jonestown was operated as a benevolent communist community and members weren't permitted to leave the premises without Jones' approval. While the pressures were growing in San Francisco with media investigations, Jones along with several hundred temple members moved to Jonestown in 1977. It was after Jones arrived in Guyana that life in Jonestown started to get grave. The movies from Georgetown that the residents in Jonestown used to watch were replaced by documentaries about social problems in America or Soviet propaganda. The Parallax View, The Day of the Jackal, and State of Siege were the political thrillers regularly screened in Jonestown. While watching those, members could experience a thorough analysis of those by Jones himself. School study for children and nighttime lectures for adults were canceled. The members had to work around 12 hours a day for 6 days per week. To keep control over Jonestown, Jim Jones executed several tactics. One of them was mind controlling. He would isolate the members from their families, make them do public confessions of sins, and task them with too much work to the point of sleep deprivation. Much propaganda demonizing the people outside the facility and creating fear and paranoia among the residents was underway. He took all those measures to establish his control over his followers and make them dependent on him for guidance and protection. While Jonestown did not have a dedicated prison, it resorted to various forms of punishment for members who were considered to have serious disciplinary issues. These methods included confining individuals in a small plywood box and subjecting children to spending a night in a well. This harsh practice, referred to as the torture hole, along with physical beatings, became a topic of local Guyanese people. For those members who attempted to escape, drugs like thorazine, chloral hydrate, demerol, and Valium were administered. Armed guards patrolled the area throughout the day to enforce Jonestown's strict rules and maintain control over its members. By the day of the massacre, Jim Jones' health was deteriorating at a rapid pace. He suffered from a lung infection, high blood pressure, small strokes, and temporary blindness. On November 18, 1978, U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan and a group of journalists visited the settlement to investigate reports of abuse and coercion. They were initially welcomed by some of the temple members. However, when the delegation group was about to leave, a group of temple members opened fire on them, killing Congressman Ryan and several others. This shooting took place at the Port Kaituma airport. Following that, Jones ordered the mass suicide of his followers. This order was carried out by giving the members a poison drink, which they were told was a test of their loyalty to Jones. The drink contained cyanide and other sedatives. Within minutes, hundreds of people lay dead, including children. Jones was found dead by a gunshot wound to his left temple. A total of 918 people were found dead during the Jonestown mass murder-suicide. That's how the tragedy of the Jonestown Massacre came to be. It remains a dark chapter in human history to the day that tells a story about depths of manipulation and fanatism that lead to the lowest ends of society. Like and comment on your ideas about the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching. See you next time.